Okay, so there's a couple of points with that, what you just said. A lot of it is the offense, right? So I'll do a little fast forward. When Tom Brady first got to the Bucs, Tom Brady, through the first, I think it was like 7 or 8 weeks, he led the league in turnovers and interceptions. He had a talk with Bruce Arians and said, because Bruce Arians is the no risk and no biscuit.
Correct.
A lot of balls. That's what the Bucs. That's what we did. Because we would have 600 yards of offense and 40 points and 5 turnovers and lose the game. You know, because it's all deep balls and we have good receivers. Mike Evans had 1,000 yards every year of his career, and we get the ball downfield. We make big plays. But with that comes a lot of turnovers. And so Tom said, hey, we have to have a balanced offense. And he had to talk with Bruce Arians. It was, publicized to the whole media. And he was like, hey, we need to do check downs and do these things like that and have like a balanced offense. And so I think a lot of the issues that Jameis had early on was part of the offense. And also, Jameis knows, I've talked to him about this, he knows how talented he is. He can make every throw. So sometimes when it's like, hey, all we have is deep routes, and he's like, there's 2 guys over there, I can fit it in there. Mm-hmm. We've had that talk, right? And so obviously we want it to be, something where there's no turnovers, but we understand the offense that we're in. And I think the team we had for my 4 years were super, super talented. And there's a lot of reasons why we lost games. It wasn't just because of Jameis, but we could have made it so there's more checkdowns and more easy passes to get him going than just deep routes. But I think, like I said, I think a lot of it is the offense. It's the offense, it's the way things are schemed. Because when he got to the Saints, Jameis had like 10 touchdowns and
like 3 interceptions. Lighting it up. Yeah, he was lighting it up.
We were 5-2, and we beat the Bucs at home. And we were on track to go to the playoffs and have a good run. Then he tore his ACL, and then the season kind of didn't pan out the way he wanted it to. But he was playing really well under Sean Payton. So, I think for a quarterback, having a coach that understands your skill set and can put you in a position to succeed, because Jameis wasn't throwing for 500 yards a game. He might throw for 190, might throw for 250, but we win. He had 2 turnovers the first game against the Panthers, I believe, or the game against the Panthers, and then had 1 turnover the next 4 or 5 games. So we were playing very, very well until he got injured. And then I think the quarterbacks that we had on our roster after that weren't as talented. And the way the league is right now, you need a star quarterback. But after Bruce Arians left, he doesn't have anybody to challenge him on his thoughts. Right? Todd Bowles is a defensive guy. He's like, hey, you guys do the offense. There was a story that came out when Bruce Arians was the coach that Byron and Tom would have plays designed and things they want to do, and Bruce would be like, no, we're not doing that. And Bruce would come out almost every other week and say, Tom played like crap, or this happened, or that happened. But Tampa was winning, And I think I enjoy coaches that challenge me, especially if you know what you're talking about. If you know what you're talking about, I want the challenge, and I want you to challenge me, and I want us to work together. So I feel like now it's just basically, hey, Tom and Byron, you do whatever you want to do, and it hasn't been working, And I'm not sick. Tom is a brilliant mind. He's the GOAT, right? And Byron Leftwich is an amazing quarterback coach, right? But again, when you get thrust into this position of handling the whole pressure and everything, there's going to be growing pains. But with Tom Brady, you can't have growing pains. You expected to win, So I think for Tom, he needs a coach that's going to challenge him. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. He needs a coach that's going to challenge him. He needs a coach that's going to call him out on things. And he needs a coach because that's what he's used to. I played for Bill Belichick for 2 years. Mm-hmm. Bill's not taking anything. Josh McDaniels, look at the Patriots offense after Josh McDaniels left. And I know he's struggling in Oakland. Right? Because he's trying to implement a different system than they're used to. But the Patriots offense went from a top 10 offense with Mac Jones to now they're bottom half of the NFL.
Struggling.
And I was in those meetings, right? And Josh let Tom do a lot of things, but when certain things came up, he gets challenged and he gets pushed on. He's like, no, we're going to do this. Right? I know you like this, but this is going to work. And we're going to do these things. And we can talk about Bill Belichick later because I have a good story for you about Bill Belichick. But I think I have a great story. But I think quarterbacks need, especially because it's a quarterback league, quarterbacks need a coach that's going to push them and challenge them and get them in a position to succeed. And it's a tough job to do. You know, these guys like Byron Leftwich is his first role as offensive coordinator, you know, and people want him to be a head coach. And it's like, it's a tough job, man. Like, it is not an easy thing to do. And that's why they go for guys with experience, you know. And so I think that I think that's the problem in Tampa right now is no one is really challenging Tom on things that he wants to do because the offense is stagnant. And they have too many good players to be stagnant.
Correct. There's no reason for it.
There's too many. It's the same team that won the Super Bowl. Other than Gronk, and you can't tell me like Gronk had 5 or 6 great catches and 5 or 6 big moments in the game, but everybody else is the same, right? Everyone's the same, and this team was scoring 40 points, you know, dismantling the Kansas City Chiefs, which I think is one of the best teams in the NFL. So, you know, I just think that like they're missing that factor of somebody being like, "Hey, Tom, you need to do this. Like, this is what's going to make us better." I think they're missing it right now because the offense, the way they're playing. It's not good enough, and he's too good, you know. So
no,
I'll give you I'll break down the fourth wall right now. The first day Bruce Arians was there, he says, "I'm going to treat you all with respect, but I'm not going to treat you all the same." Mike Evans is not going to get treated the same as a rookie wide receiver because Mike Evans has earned that right. So during OTAs, if a star
no, go ahead. It's something I want to ask you after that.
Okay. If a star player says, "Hey, I got something going on, I can't make it to OTAs for a week," he won't be at OTAs. It's not going to be a problem. If a rookie undrafted guy says, "I'm not going to be here for a week," you're going to be on the street. So there's a difference. And so I'm not going to fault him for that because I don't think Tom Brady doesn't know the offense. Like, I don't think Tom Brady needs to go to a Saturday walkthrough if he wants to go to a wedding. I don't believe that. I think he can be just fine.
Okay.
Like, if Tom Brady doesn't practice all week, I was in the Patriots with Tom Brady. He practiced once a week. He wouldn't practice on Wednesdays. He practiced on Thursdays.
Say that again. How many times he practiced?
Once.
Okay.
Thursday and Friday. The year I was there with him, Thursday he'll practice with no pads, and then Friday, you know, and he'll do walkthroughs. But when he came in on Thursday, he would throw dimes to Antonio Brown.
It's like he ain't missed nothing.
He didn't miss anything. He knows how to play the game. So him missing those things, I don't think is the issue. I think it's highlighted now because of all the other stuff going around him, and he's a star. I can see that. Yeah. You know, like he's transcended football. You know, this guy has Tom Brady has Aston Martin contracts, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like football players don't get this kind of things. You know, he's almost a soccer star. Like you know what I'm saying?
True.
Like, so like he lives a different life. He was married to a Superman. You know, so like he lives a different life, and so things get magnified. But I don't think him missing those things are the problem because he knows what to do. He knows the offense better than guys that have been in the offense longer than him, right? I think it's just the fact of
everything else,
and like he gets like he needs to be challenged. Like that's what he's used to. And even though like at his age, he's 45 years old, he's like, I don't want to get challenged by a coach anymore. Because every NFL player gets to that point in their life. They do. Where it's like, dude, I've been here for 5 years. I know how to play. I don't want you to cuss at me and yell at me and tell me this or that or whatever. Like, so he's at that point and he deserves to be. But the product shows that there's a difference now. Because this division that they're in, this is the same division with when I was there. Drew Brees, MVP, Super Bowl champion, Hall of Famer. Cam Newton, MVP, went to the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan, MVP, went to the Super Bowl. So our division, if you didn't win 10 games, you have no shot making the playoffs.
No shot.
And now you have teams that are 4-8, 5-8. You know what I'm saying? The division is awful, and you guys can't find a way to beat those teams. You couldn't beat the Carolina Panthers that
couldn't score a touchdown.
That don't know who their quarterback is. Like to me, and it's the same players. It's the same players for the exception of Jordan White. It's the same guys. And so, like, for me, it's like that is, and I don't want to call them out, but, like, it's a coaching issue because the players are the same. The players are the same. So, for me, it's a coaching issue, and they have to figure out in-house how, and it's tough to challenge a guy like Tom Brady, right? He makes more money than you. He's the same age as you. You know, Byron Leftwich.
I never thought about it like that.
Tom Brady. You know, so like people don't think about those kind of things where it's like, dude, like I played with this guy and he's still in the NFL playing at a high level and he makes way more money than I do. So how do I come to him and tell him, hey, you're wrong?
I can't come at you like Joe Blow over there. I can't come at
Yeah.
your neck like that.
Yeah, the older coaches can, because they're like, dude, again, like Bruce Arians, and I don't think he's the greatest coach ever, but he's like, dude, I coached Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck.
Oh, his resume speaks for itself.
Ben Roethlisberger. So, hey, I don't mind telling you, dude, you stunk today. I don't mind going to the media and saying you stunk today. My first welcome to NFL moment, my first game, I had played right side pretty much my whole life, right guard, right tackle. We had some injuries. Coach says, hey, you're starting a left guard on Thursday before a Sunday game. And I was blocking the big boy who was on the Bears. He's on the Bucs now, Akeem Hicks.
Mm-hmm.
I was 295 pounds. He's 350 pounds, full of muscle. And coach said, you're playing left guard. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right? And I did everything I could, and I thought I played a decent game, but I was not mentally quick enough because I didn't have my playbook down the way I needed to. After the game, to the press the next day, Derek Cutter went and said, I thought Caleb would play better because he's super, super talented, and I expected more from him, but he stunk yesterday. And that was in the paper, in the Tampa Bay paper. Mm. And I was like, oh, this is real. But it lit a fire in me to get better, and I started all the games after that for 3 years. So, you need somebody to challenge you sometimes. I just don't think that he has that, which, again, he's earned the right to, but the product's